Welcome, y'all. Welcome. Come on in the room. Welcome to another episode of Unlocking Your Legacy. I'm your host, Keith Robertson, the personal fin coach. Come on in the room. I see you out there, Herman. I see you, Charles. All right. All right, guys. Welcome again to another episode of Unlocking Your Legacy. I'm your host, Keith Robertson. This is where we come, to talk about that all-important financial literacy. That's right. We come to show you how, not giving you the what, but give you the how and what's needed to unlock your legacy for you and your family, so you can leave an inheritance for your children's children. First of all, do you know what financial literacy is? Financial literacy is the ability to use various financial tools successfully, like personal money management, like budgeting, like investing, like protection. Various financial tools used to protect you and your family. Bottom line is this: financial literacy is the knowledge to be able to make wise decisions about your money, using knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to make decisions about your money. Well, listen, we're going to dig in today. I'm not going to belabor the point. We're going to jump right in. Let's talk about what's going on out in the world, y'all. So, hey, Jerome Powell, he's going to make an announcement tomorrow. We already know that in September, the Fed rate is going to be decreased, right? They were talking about a quarter, but now it's more looking like a half a point, a 0.5%, 0.50, just coming off of the Fed rate. And the reason being is because of this one thing that I told you guys about a while back. I told you when they make these announcements, they go back and make adjustments. One of the key metrics in the economy, right, as they watch the economy and they're talking about a recession, was the jobs report. So now what they did yesterday, they actually updated the jobs report, and they were off by over 800,000 jobs. That's right, 800,000, almost 800,000, might as well have been 1 million. They were saying that, they had put in some seasonal work, some part-time work, and they combined all that together, when really the job reports are based upon more in the line of individuals that are working 40 hours a week, right? Working full-time. But I always wonder, I'm like, why we have to wait for the job report? The job report is basically a survey that's done by major corporations. You have ADP, you got paychecks that can tell you, right? Anytime Bank of America got real-time data, they can tell you on a weekly basis, the credit card usage of the company. Then you're going to tell me the government can't figure out a way to understand, figure out a way to utilize up-to-date information? Come on, y'all, we're in the information age. But let me tell you this, though. When they recalibrate these reports, it has no effect on the market, truly. These traders out here, they are not looking at that past data and make adjustments on the past data. It's like that movie. It was a racing movie. It was an Italian racing movie. And they were talking, right? And the guy took the rear view mirror. He ripped it out and he threw it out of the car. He said, we don't worry about what's behind us. We worry about what's in front of us. And that is how Wall Street operates. But anyway, speaking of Wall Street, so I told you guys a couple weeks ago, you had an opportunity when we had a correction. We had a correction when the carry trade happened. Remember, I talked about the carry trade a while back that had to do with Japanese currency, right? that carry trade happened and it had an adverse effect on our market, and that S&P 500 took a dip. I told you guys you had an opportunity to jump in the market if you didn't believe what I was saying. And let me say this, here's my disclaimer. Listen, I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just giving you information, okay? This information is for educational purposes only when it comes to investing, because you need to sit down in front of an investment advisor and get a plan that's geared specifically for you. I'm telling you market news. But in any case, so the carry event happened, right? And so the market took a dip. I said, hey, you don't believe me? Use one of these apps like Robinhood or one of these other Webull or one of these other trading apps. Take a few dollars and put it in the market and see what happens. If you would have done that back then, because now we are on the track again to reach the all-time high. That's right. And you have to look at it from this standpoint too. We're in an election cycle. So we all know, if we watch the economy, we know that during the election cycle, we're not going to have a downward trend in the economy. In September, Jerome Powell is going to announce, hey, the Fed rate is coming down, and it's going to trigger something. You're going to hear people talking about, hey, the rates are down. You're going to see people going out there spending money, because just from a psychological point of view, they feel that it's cheaper. It's time to go out. You're going to see the housing market is going to respond to it as well. Now, I'm saying this in advance. Let's see what happens. But in any case, you had opportunity to get in. Now it's on another all-time high, and it looks like it's going to continue as we go into the biggest market or retail market in the economy each year, right? Of course, we're going to go into Halloween, then we're going to have Thanksgiving, and then we're going to have Christmas. 3 of the biggest retail events that happen each year is coming, not to mention the election cycle. Typically, when the new party comes into office, that the economy gets a shot in its arm. So let's see what happens, y'all. But it's an opportunity to make some money out there. But we're talking about financial literacy. And people ask me, Keith, why are you out here talking about financial literacy all the time? Because I truly believe this is how we cure a lot of the woes in our community. Our community, the black and brown community. Get out of the impoverished state. You guys that are ADOS, hey, reparations. If I got a check, hey, I'm not going to turn it back in, but I can't wait. Those of you that's looking, we're in the end times and all this that's going on, but they've been talking about the end times for a long time, and so until the time end, we have to position ourselves. Because what do we do when tomorrow is today and we didn't wait? What do we do when tomorrow is today and we didn't plan for it yesterday? Because it's coming. Tomorrow is coming. If the good Lord allows you to open your eyes each and every day, tomorrow's coming. So why not plan for it? And we're talking about unlocking a legacy. What does it say? A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Leave them in a position where they gotta get a GoFundMe account. Because the bottom line is this, right? A GoFundMe is to put a person away. It's not to help your family continue to live the lifestyle that they're accustomed to. You have no excuses out there. We're going to remove all the excuses, y'all. Because financial literacy is the answer. It's like Prego. Remember that Prego commercial? Onions is in there. Bell peppers is in there. Chives is in there. Mushrooms is in there. Everything is in there. That's what financial literacy. Your children's education, college is in there. Your retirement is in there. That house you want to buy is in there. That vacation you want to go on is in there. Financial literacy allows you to do all of that. Financial literacy allows you to have a better life, a holistic life. Your life is better, totally better, when you have financial literacy. Because you don't have the stress. We talked about that last week. You don't have the stress. Because we have to get in position to take care of our first business. We say, I don't have a business, Keith. You don't have a business? Yes, you do. Your first business is your family business. We have to do the things that are necessary to ensure that our family business is successful. Okay, we talked about a few things. We talked about mindset, skill set, mindset, tool set, skill set, these the assets, right? We talked about last week, we talked about budgeting. You know, what is a budget and how to utilize a budget? You know, we went into that a bit. We were in the tools. So that this week, I want to talk more about that family business, right? You know, just like in any business, you have to watch your numbers, right? You have to watch your numbers. You got to know what your income is, right? You have to have your income, and you have your expenditures that come out of that business, right? You have to be able to watch that. You need to know how much money is coming in the business, how much money is going out of the business. But you need to know where that money is going. Because remember, again, financial literacy, we're talking about personal financial management. Personal financial management. Are you a money manager? Do you manage your money? Remember I asked, again, I'm going back to last week because all this ties together. Do you manage your money? Do you tell your money where to go? Do you tell your money what it is it needs to do? And do you tell your money to bring other money back to you? You know, we are, a lot of times what we do, or what people do, and again, we have to get out of this mindset. We have to stop eating our seeds. That's right. We eat our seeds. Those seeds need to be put in the ground so they can reap a harvest. What is it saying? I can tell how many apples are on the tree, but I can't tell how many trees, apple trees, are in an apple. Those seeds, y'all. And financial literacy will allow you to put your seeds where they belong. Glad I have some water right here. Okay. Excuse me. So where is that money going? That income and expenses. You got to watch them. Excuse me. There are various tools that you can use. You can use Mint. And now Mint is actually a free tool, right? Where you go in, and a lot of these tools that I'm going to talk about real quick, you can connect to Plaid. Plaid is a secure platform. The only thing is receiving this data. It does not send out your banking information. Okay, your banks send that information into Plaid. Plaid is not utilizing that bank data. It's encrypted and it's safe. It's proven to be safe. They have not been hacked. They haven't had any situation. Now, fact check me. If I'm wrong, let me know. What's up, Jay? I see you, buddy. But listen, then you have YNAB. You need a budget. That's another one. Pocket Guard, Every Dollar, Good Budget, Personal Capital. All these are money tracking tools. Some of them allow you to operate with the 50, 30, 20. I told you about that last week, right? 50 for your bills, you know, your household bills. 30 for various things that you want to do, and 20% to save. Then you have your envelope, which is more like a Pocket Guard is more like a envelope where you're able to put certain dollars in certain places. So you have to figure out what's best for you, because there are a lot of options out there for you when it comes to your personal budget. But this is where you start. As a personal money manager, you have to see where is that money going. Because ultimately, y'all, what is it about? It's about living life. Not surviving life, but living life. You know, we want to get to the point where we're able to live stress-free when it comes to financial woes. See, because in my experience, in my 25 years of banking, in my experience, it did make a difference if you were making $50,000 a year, or $250,000, $500,000 a year. I've seen both scenarios live paycheck to paycheck. Because What Biggie say? More money, more problems. Because the more money you have, what? The more money you spend. The bigger things you buy. Where if you're not careful, you'll still be in that struggle, that mode, that survival mode. So we have to know where that money is going. Now, we look at, you could operate with a Dave Ramsey mentality. Now, I have nothing bad to say about Dave Ramsey. You know, I understand. Hey, living, don't live above your means. But okay, that 8% rule that he has, you can put everything in the stock market because you're able to draw 8% a year off your. You're going to run out of money. You're going to run out of money. Guarantee, as you get older, if you operate under that precipice, you're going to run out of money. Mathematically, you're going to run out of money. It's more like 4%. Now, I know these numbers, you know, I'm talking these numbers and you might not understand them, but that's okay. This is why you need to sit down with someone that can explain this to you. Sit down with a smart money manager. Sit down with someone that can do what's called an expert financial analysis and see where you are. Because again, if you don't know where you are, you don't know how to get to where you want to go. You won't have a financial roadmap. Now, when we look at, again, what happened with the S&P 500, what if you had all your money in that S&P 500? Now, I'm talking to you guys at 55 and over. So you have all your money in your 401. You have your money in the market. Are you able to withstand a serious hit to our market? Think about it. Go back to 2008, where people lost 30, 40%, or even more of their retirement. At 55 and older, if that was to happen today, look, retirement is right down the street. You don't have time to recover. You know, there are smart money managing tools that are out there that allow you to be able to take advantage of the indexes that are in the market, right? As they go up, your money increases. But as the market goes down, your money does not decrease. Doesn't that sound like a plan? Wouldn't you guys like to know more about that? You know, you have your 401k plans, 403bs. Oh man, 403bs. Let's talk about that real quick. So you guys that are teachers, city workers, they have the 403b. I don't know about your specific area, but what you need to do is really take a look at your 403b to see if you're behind in the savings. You need to see if you're in your investment vehicle, your retirement. You need to see if you're behind. Because, again, when we look at those numbers, you know, take 100 people. What is it? It's 53% that are still working because they reached retirement age. These that reached 65, they reached 65, but they had to continue to work. And the reason being is because they didn't have enough money. You know, nowadays, it's a such thing called outliving your money. How many times do you see people that have to go back to work? Yeah, that's right, Chuck. Spending that money on the latest Nike, Gucci, or whatever else. Invest in the Akon or Robinhood, just to name a few, as Shakuma was saying. Yeah, the market is, listen, we're in the information age, y'all. And this is why we're here. We're here to bring you information. Because no longer can you say, I didn't know. Keith told me that if I would just take time to learn how money works, to increase my knowledge of financial matters, then I would be in a better position to leave a legacy for my children's children. Okay, Miss Robertson. Yeah, a lot of people don't care about this until it happens to them. About things like this, that until it happens to them. But listen, y'all. One thing that's gonna happen for sure. Okay, we all gonna go meet our Maker. Okay, that's gonna happen to everybody, and it happens to the young as well as the old. But what do you do? Do you have financial tools in place to replace that income that you have, that you bring into your household? Do you have children? Do you have a wife? You have a husband and wife in a household, a dual income household, and you ever see a car accident? You ever hear anybody died in a car accident? I just went to the store to get a loaf of bread. They don't make it back home. Wow, that income, half of that income is removed out of that house. Now, can that house continue to thrive? Can that house continue to operate like it did prior to, if it did not have the right financial tools in place? Would it happen? I say no. You have to have the right financial tools in place. And you say, okay, great, we can do that. Now, do you have them structured properly? That's the next question. If you out there that have your various type of insurances, now, who's the beneficiary of your insurance? Your wife, your children? Great, that's fantastic. Now, have you guys taken time to obtain financial literacy to know what to do with that money? Because if you haven't, at the point of time of your demise, that's like a lottery winning. Historically, look at people that win the lottery. 3 years. They're in a worse situation or the same situation they were in before. That is real talk, y'all. That's real talk. You have to have a plan. If you don't plan, you plan to fail. Right? We've all heard that. And a lot of things that I talk about on this broadcast, you've heard before. I just want to bring them to your forefront. See, you sat back and you prayed for some things. You asked God to help you in certain situations, to put you in a position so that you can live this life. Well, this is one of those answers. Financial literacy is one of those answers. I promise you that. Financial literacy is one of those answers. When you're able to structure your first business properly. So what does that look like, Keith? Well, it looks like this. It looks like you've learned how to put your assets in a position to be passed on to your family. But not just giving it to them. Where your assets have been put in, placed in the realm of being able to, basically being put in a trust. Where your assets are put into a trust, right? Your assets are put into a trust, and then before you pass, you put your, let me say this another way, because I don't want to just up here and ramble. So you look at putting your assets in a trust. And then you put the rules to the trust of your liking so that that money, those assets can be utilized to be passed on. We want to learn things like the infinite banking, being your own bank. Come on, y'all. Let's understand that, they talked about the Rockefellers, right? What would the Rockefellers do? How the Rockefellers use whole life insurance and trust to continue their legacy, to build it up. Now, you have to be diversified in all that you do. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket either, but just understanding what's available to you. And this is what we're going to do for you. Next week, y'all, next week, we are actually launching we're doing what's called a virtual launch. I'm bringing forward some dynamic speakers next week that's going to help me to launch a business here in Hampton Roads. I'm bringing Mr. Aurelio Evans. He's called the Godfather of the U.S. And Mr. Keith Robertson. He's called actually the Soul Motivator. Now, you're going to find out what all this is about next week. Because, again, it's about showing you how to unlock your legacy so you can leave an inheritance for your children's children. It doesn't make a difference if you're living paycheck to paycheck. We got a plan for you. It doesn't make a difference if you're already have what you would consider everything in place. That's okay. We're going to look at your plan and see if it's effective. Do you know what your FIN number is? Your financial independence number. That day where you have it marked on the calendar, on this day, you will have your financial independence. Well, we're going to bring all that forward to you guys. Well, listen, life is, I'm reading some comments. Life is meant to be lived, not survived. And this is what we're talking about. And it's all about financial literacy. You may not feel that you need this. You may have your wills in place. You may have your trust in place. But the thing about it is it structured properly? Hey, look, we look at entertainers, right? We would think entertainers, especially if they're making multi-million dollars. Michael Jackson, Richard Pryor, right? Prince, Whitney Houston. What do they all have in common? Probate. What did they all have in common? They didn't have a will. We've heard this time and time again in our community. Elvis is another one. We've heard these things time and time again in our community. But now is the time to put our financial house in order. Not for you, but for your children's children. So when they have a need, they can go to their own personal family bank. Because of you put things in place to ensure that they had a place to go where they didn't have to qualify for the loan. They had a place to go where they didn't have to worry about what credit score they had. Because you took the time to learn about financial literacy and you're able to pass it down to your family and your friends. Now, isn't that worth an investment of your time, efforts, and energy? Because of systems that are put in place for you. System is an acronym. Save yourself time and money. Right? So anyway, y'all, I've gone past my normal time again. Like I tell my wife every week, hey, it's time to get out of here. 20 minutes, and I'm going on 30 minutes. But remember this, for me personally, it's about my grandchildren. It's about my grandchildren's children. I'm going to be here each and every week talking, sharing this information, and prayerfully hope you'll come back or you listen to the recording and you'll get something out of it that you can utilize in your life. But I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been your personal fin coach, Keith Robertson. This has been episode 5 of Unlocking Your Legacy. Thank you for tuning in. Peace and blessings. See you next week.